Hello, 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 hello. Welcome everybody. Good evening, good morning, wherever you are. Can you hear the background music? It's a new thing in StreamYard. So if you're watching, don't forget to click the StreamYard link at the top of the post where the event is, and that way I can see when you make a comment. I've also got Dario here answering any questions, so if you do have any questions, just type them in the chat and we will be on that. Welcome. I'm so excited. There is a huge new development in Imagen's profile adjustments. So what are the profile adjustments? Well, if you've ever used Imagen, and if you haven't, stay tuned, because if you're a photographer of any kind, this will be absolutely life-changing. But if you've ever downloaded your edits from Imagen and just thought, oh my God, it's great, but I just wish it was just a nudge cooler or a nudge warmer or a little kind of sixth of a stop brighter, then you can now do it. You can now take your own profile or any of the talent profiles and you can adjust the parameters and save them and keep using them. It's just incredible. So I have my own talent profile called Love and Light, which is very popular. People seem to love it because it's very neutral. It provides a really good base for any other edits you want to do. So I always run everything through Love and Light, whether it's a wedding or portrait or event, anything that I'm doing. That's going to be my go-to to just get good color correction. I know that the skin tones are going to look good. It's usually about 95% accurate. So I might do a few tweaks here and there, just a few images that it's just missed, it's had difficulty handling. But there are so many edits and so many years of edits that have gone into building the profile that it's really, really very strong. But I'm so excited that now I can adjust my own profile, and you can adjust my profile to suit whatever it is you're doing. Now I edit for other people as well. So if I'm going to be doing something for a client of mine, and I know that they love things to be much, much punchier and more contrasty, or they don't like sharpening, I can just go, before I actually run it through Imagen, I can just adjust those things and take everything through Imagen, and then I can reset it at the end. So you don't have to worry about messing everything up. Okay, enough talking. Let's go and take a look at what I'm talking about. Let me just pull up my Imagen software first, and a little bit of Inception. And now what we're looking at is the Imagen software, and I've gone to this home, then I've gone to AI profiles, and here are my two profiles. Now, Love is my working Love and Light. So this is where I put all of my fine tuning in. And then when I'm done fine tuning, I send it to the guys at Imagen, and they will then update Love and Light, the one that's available publicly. If you're using a Talent AI profile, then you just go to Talent AI profiles. You can choose whichever profile you want to use. In this case, we would be using Love and Light, which is mine. And if you just click the three buttons there, you can see Adjust Talent AI Profile. So that means you can go in and you can tinker under the hood of that profile. Fantastic. So I'm going to go back to my profile, which is it's exactly the same as Love and Light. It's just got a few more edits in it, but it's the same thing. And I'm going to click here. So if you're going to be modifying your own talent profile, this is where you would be. And I'm going to click Adjust AI Profile. So I've already done some adjustments because I've been playing around and just having a wonderful time here. And let's just look at this over here. Okay, this is what we're going to be doing. At the bottom, you can see Reset to Default. But what I've done here is I've gone in and I have tinkered under the hood of the white balance, the tone, so some of the contrast, some of the exposure, some of the highlights, some clarity, some dehaze, and above all, I've tinkered around with the hue, saturation, and the luminance, because I wanted to try and create something called what I call minty greens, or what a lot of people like to call light and airy. So let's take a look at Love and Light and see where we are right now. And I've got like a mix of images here. So here is the raw. Here's a set of raw files of a mix of different weddings. I've got some dancing pictures, I've got detail pictures, I've got some portraits, I've got some stuff with lots of greenery in, so that we can take a look at that, and some stuff with blue skies, and some kind of very, very tricky church lighting, and some dancing. So let's take a look at what Love and Light looks like. So these images they've been run through the Love and Light talent profile, and this is what came back with no tweaking. So there's just one thing. This one here, I would probably tweak. These two here are a little bit warm for my taste. So these two, I would probably, in all honesty, I would select those, and then I would just bump down the warmth a little bit just by clicking the arrow on the left. And everything else I'm pretty happy with. All of the skin tones look nice, and perhaps this one I might warm up a little bit just by, there we go. So that all the skin tones people's skin looks the same, whether it's in tungsten lighting or in natural lighting or in sunlight. It's pretty close on there. So we've got the same person, and I want their skin to be looking the same throughout the whole wedding. That's my goal. So what did I do to try to change this? Well, I wanted to go for something that just looked a little bit cooler and a little bit brighter, and with the greens a sort of a minty color, so not as much yellow in those greens. So this is what I ended up with, and this is the adjusted Love and Light. Okay, so I haven't made any tweaks here. This is just what the adjusted Love and Light gave back to me. Okay, so let's compare them both. I love them both, and I love my base Love and Light because it's so neutral. And the thing about the sort of minty greens look is that it does desaturate those greens a little bit. And a lot of my clients, they really want to see the lush greens of where we are in Italy. And so I've deliberately left that in, but it's a very, very popular look. And I kind of like, I have to say, I really kind of like it. I really think that it's looking good. One thing you need to be careful of as well when you're making the yellows a little bit desaturated is that if you have people with a tan, or darker skinned images, then the yellow, you don't want to make the yellows too light. It's going to kind of lighten the skin quite a bit. So I actually did a little bit of fiddling around here. So if I could just show you my history panel here, you can see what I've done. So this was my first adjustment. So that's the raw. This was my first adjustment, my sort of tinkering under the hood, trying to get the light and airy look. I decided it was a little bit too pale because she had a really nice tan, and I think that perhaps she wouldn't like to be looking that pale. So this is my second try, and you can see I've just pulled back a little bit of depth in the skin a little bit, and I think that looks there it is. So there's the first edit, the first profile adjustment. It's quite a bit brighter. And then I went back to this is Love and Light, the normal one, and this is then the adjusted one. So if we've gone from there to there. So I've actually, I've gone to Imagen. I've made these adjustments. I've saved them. I've re-edited at no charge because Imagen allows you to re-edit several times. And then I'm like, I think I just want to darken that down a little bit. And I'm going to go through all of these settings in a minute for you. And then I've saved it again. And now if you decide that you've just messed up, you can just click reset to default. And that's going to take you back to the profile as Imagen had it saved on their databases. So it doesn't matter what you do. You can always go back. So I just love this. I just love this. And let's take a look at a full wedding as well. So here we have, let's take a look at the raws first. So this is one that I did as a demo in at WPPI in Las Vegas. So I just had it handy. And here's the raw. And then if we look at Love and Light, there we've got this beautiful warm skin tones, a nice golden look. It's not too bright, it's not moody either. It's just, you know, good exposure and a nice color balance. Just an FYI as well, if you like to stitch together panoramas, or if you like to do the Brenizer method, which is taking lots of different pictures at a shallow depth of field and you want to stitch them together, just bear in mind, this is what I've done here, and just bear in mind that if you do that in Lightroom and you have Lightroom create a stitched DNG, then Imagen will edit that file for you, because my profile is a raw profile, but it does edit the DNG. So here you can see I've stitched together the DNG and Imagen edited it beautifully. That's exactly as I wanted. This is exactly what the place looks like. So it's very, very true to color. The sky was that blue, the greens were that green. That's exactly what I wanted to get. Now, let's take a look at the Minty Greens. So this is the adjusted profile, and I ran the same wedding through again, free of charge. And here you can see that it's much lighter, it's airier. I've just kind of taken back those greens a little bit, and it gives it that sort of contemporary look that Love and Light is much more classic. It's much more true to life. And I just think it works really, really well. And let's just scroll through and let's see what it does to some of the pictures with more greenery involved. Everything's looking very consistent. Now, bear in mind that I haven't done any tweaking here. So this is all straight from the oven, so to speak, Imagen's oven. And if you decide that, you know, you like what I've done here, but you want it to be more contrasty, you can just add that. I'm going to give you the recipe in a second, and then you can just tweak that as you see fit. So let's take a look at some of the portraits. Okay, here we go, Minty Greens. So let's take a look at this one. Let's take a look at this one. Let's go. There's the different, there's the first one, a bit brighter. There's Love and Light, the original, and then there's the adjusted one. So it's just a little bit brighter, a little bit cooler, and I've just minted those greens a little bit. So how did I do it? Let's go and take a look. What I've done here is I've made the white balance slightly cooler. So the neutral was right here, right in the middle. Okay? All I did was just take it one bump towards cool. I haven't touched the green and the magenta. So if you want to adjust Love and Light to get this look, write down these settings, okay? Exposure, I put up by plus 0.2. Okay, now that's a correction on the AI value. That's not a fixed value. What does that mean? It means that Love and Light is already calculating the correct exposure for the image, and then it's going to add 0.2 of an exposure bump, whatever that is. I'm not sure if it's the same in Lightroom and in Imagen, but that's what I've done to just make it that tiny little bit brighter, very, very slightly. Then contrast, because everything's going to be looking a little bit brighter, I feel like we lost a little bit of contrast. It was looking a little bit washed out. So I've added the correction of AI value plus 10. The whole thing was looking a little bit blown out in some places, so I've just pulled down the highlights a little bit. So AI value minus 5. Everything else I've left blank. Clarity, again, I just wanted to give a little bit of pop. I usually don't add clarity because clarity can grunge up the skin a little bit, but I thought just plus 2. That's not gonna do much harm because everything's looking much lighter overall. So clarity plus 2, corrected value, AI value plus 2. Bear in mind that here you can also choose a fixed value. So that's going to set the same fixed value no matter what the image, whereas the AI plus value is a really, really powerful feature that Imagen is. I can't believe they're letting us do this, to be honest. Dehaze, I've added +3. That just adds another little bit of contrast and a little bit of saturation. Vibrance +2 and saturation -3. That's the corrected AI value. Tone curve, I've let that be. And then this is where we really start to tinker. So hue, in order to get those greens minty, I've put the AI value +37. If you want to just dial that down a little bit, make it +25 or +20. If you want to go even further and put lots of blue into those greens, make them super, super minty, you can go to +50. You know, knock yourself out. You can always reset it back to default at the end. Everything else is the same. Then we've moved down to saturation, and I've got red correction +12. Okay, that's to compensate a little bit for the desaturated yellows and oranges. So red lips, flowers, things like that are going to be bumped up a little bit. So +12 corrected value. Orange is -4, yellow is -18, green is -64. Okay, so we're really desaturating those greens. Again, if you don't want such a strong effect, make it -50 or -40. Just play around and see what you like best. Everything else has not been touched. Luminance, red -16. That gives depth again to things like lips and flowers. Orange -8. So that's desaturating the skin tones a little bit. Yellow -18 and green is -29. Sorry, +29. Sorry, scratch that. Red is -16. Orange is +8. Yellow is +18. And green is +29. That's for luminance. Now, one other thing I altered was sharpening. I find that it's a little bit too sharp for my taste now. I used to sharpen a lot more than I do now. And it's because I have a really sharp camera and lens, so I don't really need that anymore. But because I've got so many edits from further back in time, I've got a slightly higher, I think I'm around 67, which is just a little bit too much. So I've just set a fixed value now of 50, just because I don't need that amount of sharpening. And that is it. Did I do anything else? Yes, I did. I've added a little bit of grain because the light and airy look is supposed to look a little bit filmic. So I've added a tiny amount, 5 points of grain. Calibration, oh, I'd forgotten I did this. I've also messed around with the blue primary saturation. So adding the saturation on the blue primary of the calibration will add an overall bump of saturation to the blue channel. So there you have it. That's the recipe. If you want to, I will write this down and I will post it in the Love Edits group. So let me know if that's something you'd like me to do.
Yeah, we just had a question
from
Richard Makizato. Will you publish this recipe?
Yes, of course I will. I will publish the recipe. I will put it in the Love Edits group. And yeah, please feel free. I will take requests if you would like me to do anything else. I'm currently working on a dark and moody. So something exactly the same images, but something warmer and darker and moodier. So that's going to be the next live, and I will also publish that recipe as well.
Bill Stank calls you the Green Queen.
Hi, Bill.
And Kate is asking, is there a rule of thumb to know the increments in which the grid will be changing when you treat them in grid view? Is it more than D view?
Is it more than what?
In D view.
Oh, in D view. Okay. So I will be honest, I've been playing around and I've been trying to figure it out. And so I've been doing a lot of going back and forth. I can tell you that the correction, I initially put, I think +1, and it was wildly overexposed. It wasn't exactly, I need to do some tests to see if the +1 is like a +1 in one stop in Lightroom. I think it is. I need to, honestly, I can't really answer that with too much authority because I haven't tested it. Ask the Imagen AI people, they will know.
Actually, Scott, speaking of the Imagen people, Scott is saying,
save me.
Understand from our developer, the plan in the future is to have an import-export of profile adjustment settings, all in due time, of course. But let's say it's very interesting. So import and
Yeah.
export, that opens, a whole world.
Really will. It really will. It's just mind-blowing. As I say, I can't believe they're allowing us to do this. It would be great if you could save all different adjustments. That would be great as well. So you've got, kind of like a preset, I suppose, like a preset that goes on top of them. I'm sure they will. They seem to be sort of answering our every wish. So there we go. So what I'm doing, yes, is going back and forth and kind of, what I will say with the exposure, I'm not sure. With the contrast and the other values and the hue and saturation values, the hue, saturation, and luminance values, it does correspond to the numbers in Lightroom. So that I can tell you. It was just the exposure I wasn't quite sure. Yeah. Any other questions? No? Wonderful.
Well, yeah, wonderful. It seems that, everybody are excited.
As I said, yeah, as I said, I'm really, so if, for example, let's just say, if you would like to tweak this further, this is the exact recipe that I have just given you. Okay. So let's say that you like this, but you want it to stay warm like Love and Light is, but you like the minty greens. Then what you do is you simply kind of readjust back the temperature. Okay, so you're back to 0. So here there's like a little, that little circle has gone hollow, meaning that we're back to where we started. Okay, so that would revert that back. If you wanted to take the contrast back to the original figure, you just take the +10, you take it back to 0. Okay, if you like this look, but you want it 10 points more, so let's go 1, 2, 3. Oh wait, that's 15. Hang on. We were at 35. So let's go to 45. So 10 points more. Let's say you like it with that amount of contrast, then you are going to put +20 in here. Okay, so basic maths, which is hard for me, but I'm sure you'd be better at it than I am. Let's say that you like this, but you love to bring the highlights all the way down because you want all of the detail in the skies and all the rest of it. Then you can just go and add the points that you deducted to the AI adjustments. Okay. If you love clarity in your images and you want to whack up an extra 20 points, I've got +2, add 20. So make it +22. So that's going to kind of add on your taste to what I've done and to what's already in the profile.
Yeah, I think that's very important because people are wondering, how to combine the best of both worlds.
Exactly. It's literally just the numbers and adding basic maths. It's as simple as that.
Okay. We're asking here, is there a way to, would you be happy with a sort of poll in the group and see what people would like to see? The dark and moody, for instance, is in the pipeline. You just did the very popular mint green, but maybe there are other trends that we might want to create.
Absolutely.
With your recipes and then publish in the group. So we will post a poll right after this live. So we will get our people to know where they want to go.
Absolutely. Oh, here's a great example of where the minty greens can really kind of sing is in this when you've got lots of things like, okay, so there's the Love and Light. No, it isn't. Let me find the raw. 1 second. Bear with me. Minty greens and Love and Light and raw. Okay, so there we go. Let's look at these 3. There we go. Okay, so on the left is Love and Light. So as you can see, it's very close to the original. So the raw is on the right. So it's just a little bit dark, a little bit flat. Love and Light just adds a nice pop, a little bit of brightness, but generally the colors are quite true. And then Minty Greens is like super chic, and that one's in the middle. So I think that gives a really good idea. It's much more noticeable when you've got greenery around.
So can you say again how to take Love and Light to the mint green values?
How to take love and light to the mint green values. I'm going to go through it again. Okay, so left is love and light, middle is love and light plus Minty Green's recipe, and on the right is the raw, just so you've got a balance. So let's go back, and I'm going to run through it really quickly. Okay, so temperature. I've started with love and light as the base, and then I've gone temperature, one step towards blue. Exposure is corrected AI value plus 0.2. Contrast, corrected AI value plus 20. Highlights, correction minus 5. Clarity, corrected plus 2. Dehaze, correction plus 3. Vibrance, correction plus 2. Saturation, correction minus 3. Hue is green, correction plus 37. Saturation, correction plus 12. Orange, correction minus 4. Yellow, correction minus 18. Green, correction minus 64. Luminance, red, correction minus 16. Orange, correction plus 8. Yellow, correction plus 18. And green, correction plus 29. I've also reduced the sharpening to a fixed value of 50. You decide if you want to do that or not. Noise reduction, I've left that alone because I'm quite happy with that. I don't do much noise reduction. Grain, I've just put 5. You might ask yourself if you want grain or not, because it can be a little bit destructive. So I was just kind of playing around. Then the calibration, finally, there is on the blue primary, saturation plus 8. And that's it. You've hit save changes and try it out. And if you don't like it, come back and adjust a few things, or you can just reset to default and go back to the original love and light.
Great.
Wonderful. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and type them in the Love Edits group or in the Imagen group, whatever. I'm happy to answer any questions and take requests, and I'll do another one of these. As I said, the next one will be dark and moody.
So we will come out with a poll, and we'll see dark and moody and what's next.
Yeah.
We'll see you soon. Thank you, guys.
See you soon. Bye, everybody. Bye.